doot, doot, doot. Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Deep Space Nine Wednesday for August 12th, 2020. Today we are watching Season 3, Episode 20, Improbable Cause. And this is the episode where plain simple Garak gets targeted for execution. A bomb, I believe, was placed in his shop, and we have to find out who would want to kill a tailor. Who wants to kill plain simple Garak? And it is a very Garak and Cardassian centric episode. We learn a lot of backstory on Garak, and a very good episode from what I remember. And thank you, John Araki, for the $1 donation. A lot of smiling faces, jumping up and down. Thank you, John Araki. Okay, so with the chat, at least as far as I can see where it started at 3:30, an hour ago, Thomas Potts says, "Down with fake news, Karoga." And then he goes, do. Not Ryan Johnson says, "Hello," and Qapla. And Karoga Propaganda Org donated $1 and says, "Did you like that fake Turtistan video we made?" No, that is not Karoga Propaganda. That is Turtistani, official Turtistani propaganda that several good men were lost smuggling it out of Turtistan. And if you haven't seen it yet, you'll certainly see it. If not today, then by Friday. Turtistan is in dire straits, and they don't have a lot of money. They don't have a lot of technical know-how, and they're working on a commercial with their tourism director, so-called guy named Thomas Pitts, trying to expunge the virtues of Turtistan travel. So you need to avoid Turtistan at all costs. Thomas Potts is not Ryan Johnson to stop causing problems, because he said hello in Qapla and down with Thomas Potts. John Streets is down with Bird of Prey. All hail Thomas Potts, Emperor of Karoga. More fake news. And then John Streets is, "Bird, this is what you need for when you play a flight sim," and puts in a link to like a $200 super flight sim controller joystick. That's easily $180 more than I want to spend on a joystick. I already have a suitable flight simulator control stick, so we'll see. I don't foresee me needing that giant contraption. I wouldn't even have room for, even if I got it, I wouldn't have room to put it anywhere. But thank you. It is interesting looking. Captain Trek says hi. Qapla, Captain Trek. And he says hello to Thomas. A bunch of people. John Street says hey to Captain Trek. "And why haven't you fired on that evil Klingon named Birdo Prey? He's taking orphans from Federation planets and making them work on Praxis." If they're orphans, nobody's going to miss them. That's a definition of an orphan. Nobody misses them. I'm sorry, but it's true. And it's not like we just take them and put them in prison. We give them gainful employment and teach them valuable lessons for life. That's more than you would do. Not Ryan Johnson says, what? Me cause problems? Yeah. Josh Street says, not Ryan Johnson. You cause destruction wherever you go. Oh, wait. That's Ryan Johnson. You're not Ryan Johnson. I get you mixed up. And not Ryan Johnson. Lowell's. Josh Street says, Bird of Prey. This better be the start of your 48-hour DS9 stream, or we will send AOC to make you do the stream you said you would do. I never said I would do a marathon DS9 stream. But if you want to send AOC here, that's fine. Rock Solids is here. I thought I was late. Happy Thursday, all. Where's the open line? Oh, that's tomorrow. And honestly, I don't think we'll be doing open lines Thursday because I'll be working on my Lower Decks review. Unless by some miracle I get it out early, I don't foresee us doing open lines on Thursdays for the foreseeable future. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think open lines is going to move to Tuesday and become part of gaming and open lines at the same time. Josh Street says, place your bet if Bird... Joseph Patrick with a €2 super chat. Thank you so much, Joseph Patrick. Says, are we reprising last week's episodes? Scroll says so. Oh, I updated the scroll. What the fuck? I swear I updated the scroll earlier today. God damn it. Did I paste in the wrong one? Improbable. Okay, okay. Episode 20 was updated. Directed by was updated. The only thing that wasn't updated was the title. Okay, because this is actually directed by Avery Brooks. It originally aired on April 24th, and it's season 3, episode 20. Somehow, I didn't update the title, even though I updated everything else. That's ridiculous. Thank you, though. I will fix that now. Hopefully I spelt improbable correctly. And if I didn't, I don't care. That's as best as we're going to get. Thank you, Joseph Patrick, for that diligent notice. Josh reads his Bird of Prey. This better be the start of your stream. No, I read that. It was Josh reads his place your bet if Bird will be late. 1 Karogan round, 0.0000001 US cent to enter. 47 Yorktown says, after a long, hard day of fishing lobster, what do I need? DS9 Wednesday. Oh, very cool. You doing some lobster fishing? Josh Street says, rock solid. Get it right. It's next Tuesday Friday. It's next Tuesday Friday. John Araki says, Qapla, John Araki. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello to you. Resolute Germ says, hello, Qapla. Captain Track says, Josh Street fired or fried Bird. Well, he didn't fire or fry me. John the Former Peasant says, hi, hello, Qapla. Rock Solid says, Josh Street, well, according to some in the community, I never get anything right, so why should I start now? Absolutely. John the Former Peasant says, Qapla. Jitsi says, to-do. Josh Street is lolling at rock solid. Carlo Albanese says, hiya, and hope everyone is as well as can be. I hope you are well, Carlo. Josh Street says, both to Captain Track. Thomas Potts says, rock solid. Anti-Trigger left his stream running for hours today after he ended Crazy Old Man. Yeah, he left. He forgot to turn off the YouTube stream. I assume he has it set up that way. He probably closed XSplit but left the stream running. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Qapla, Mike Richards. Cade MacArthur says, hey, Qapla, Cade. Jitsi says, Bird is looking fit today. Really? Oh, because of the gray shirt, the gray oversized shirt that was too big, 2 sizes too big for me. And I got the hair trimmed the other day. Yeah. Solid looking. Rock Solid says no comment to Thomas's post. Captain Trax says, Josh, wait, you mean baked, fried, or deep fried? Dan23, hello Dan23, good to see you. Sci-Fi Nation says, greetings, Brittle Prey, Mamo Prey, Sassio Prey, and fellow nerds, all hail Karoga, Aru! Aru! Sci-Fi Nation. Dan23 says, blow up a school on Deep Space Nine, and now a tailor shop. Yeah, a lot of bombs. A lot of bombs. Dan23, Chemtrax with no spoilers to Dan23. Josh reaches, why not both? Roxanne does Bird of Prey. Who are you scam baiting in this stream? Roxanne, I don't really do scam baiting unless they call me. I certainly don't go out looking for them. That's all you. Algorithmus says, who did Joe Biden pick as VP today? I don't know if it was today or last night. Anti-Trekker got picked as VP? Oh, well, Mama probably thinks Anti-Trekker got picked. I heard it was Kamala Harris. Now, I'll be honest. I really didn't know anything about Kamala Harris, so I kind of Googled her. As it turns out, her parents met at Berkeley, where they were both giant civil rights protesters. So she didn't fall far from the tree. Her mother is from India, and her father is from Jamaica. He went to school in Jamaica. She went to school in India, and they met at college at Berkeley. They had her. They lived together a couple years. They got divorced. The mother got custody of Kamala and her sister, and Kamala ended up marrying some dude also from California, and she's going to be, if she wins, she's already been, assuming she is nominated. She checks the box for first. Well, she's technically not the first woman to be nominated vice president. That's already happened. That was Geraldine Ferrara back in the day. But she's both the first African American vice presidential candidate, first Asian American vice presidential candidate, and I guess that's it, because woman, like I said, woman was already. Mao Frey has to ask.
Politically incorrect.
Yes, you're probably being politically incorrect.
Just said her father was from India.
Yes.
And mother was from Jamaica.
No. The father was from Jamaica and her mother was from India. Because Jamaicans were mostly from African slaves. The population that lives on Jamaica now, they were not the natives of Jamaica before Columbus and the Spaniards and everything.
What was that?
They were much lighter skinned, more like Native American. The whole East Indies is African slavery. I mean, they've been there for a long time, but that's where it comes from. I listen. This is okay. Don't worry about it. She counts. She picks. She goes off both boxes. Thomas Potts, or perhaps Pitts, sent a picture, and it is loading. And Sean King says, I'll be frank and tell you two Democrats that I'm 99% sure I won't be supporting, primarily because of their dismal history on criminal justice reform over the course of their entire careers. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They both helped build and advance mass incarceration. And then Sean King wrote, that's it for me, but I'm incredibly proud to see a brilliant black woman, an HBCU grad, chose as vice presidential nominee. I've done political work my whole life. It's rarely things dreams are made of. Kamala Harris is the most progressive VP nominee in American history. So would have been nice if they had captured the dates on those, Thomas, but I'll assume that they're legit. But come on, this is not a political stream. This was just a question. We can talk politics on some of the other streams. Let's see. Captain Trax says, Thomas, hail Emperor of Karoga.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe Biden with $1 super chat, a donation, and got Kissing Dax, says, I picked Watt as my VP. I thought it was you. Oh, well, number 22. No, Joe, officially, it was not me. Yeah. I don't know if you picked or you were told to pick or somebody picked for you, but whatever it is, it's done. It's over. You can't take it back. You should have picked Tulsi Gabbard, Joe. You should have picked Tulsi Gabbard. You might have gotten some more votes. You couldn't have gone wrong with Tulsi, but you picked wrong. You just picked plain wrong. Dee Dee Myers says, Qapla Bird, how are you, my friend? I hope Sissel Prey, Mo Prey, Nephew Prey are doing good and well. Yes, they are, Dee Dee. I talked to Sissel Prey this morning. All was well. Nephew of Prey slept through the night. He slept through the night, but he woke up to eat 3 times. But they had a fairly decent night. Dan23 says, my comment about blowing up the school and the tailor shop were about the writers doing it. No problem. Joseph says, are we reprising last week's episode? Scroll says so. Thank you. Yes, I fixed. Rock Solid says, tomorrow is Dear Bop. No, tomorrow is not Dear Bop. Cabin Tracks is not Ryan Johnson. No, you are awesome. Not that like that evil Birdo Prey 5. Darth Maul Qapla says, hail Birdo Prey 5. That's a bird avatar, a bird emoji, the letter O, the praying hands, and the number 5. How is life in Karoga? Any women make the cut for future Queen of Karoga? Darth Maul, I mean, there are women who would make the cut, but none who seem interested in becoming queen. So until I can, until I find one that's interested in the job, Karoga goes without a queen. Captain Track says, Joseph, you think Birdo Prey reads? Of course I read the chat. Dan23 says, Birdo Prey apparently would take 82.5 hours to watch all of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and we will. It'll take time. Sci-Fi Nation says, son of a bitch. Jitsi says, greet Joseph, now you've upset him. Hope you're pleased. No, I'm sorry. Not Joseph's fault. I'm glad he pointed it out. Josh reads that someone needs to change Khan to Bird. Joseph says, Jitsi, of course. And he says to Captain Track, he does not think. Captain Track says, Josh Street, something. Go for it. And Joseph, I know you don't think. Lol. Joseph is lolling at Captain Track. Captain Track says, Bird of Prey, we have to give the old man, anti-tracker, a poop over that stream. Yeah, he forgot to turn it off. Joseph says, lick the like, hit the like. Yeah, hit the like button. No, not going to say that. Sci-Fi Nation says a lot of bombs. Sounds like my channel. Sad. Oh, sci-fi. Rocksod says a lot of bombs. Vertebrae. Sounds like one of my streams. Bombs. You're both self-deprecating humoring. Ha ha ha. Ack. By the way, Mars Attacks is winning the poll for Cinema Saturday. Robert Rose Jr. says, howdy today, Birdo Prey, Momo Prey, and Sassy. Thank you, Robert Rose Jr. Dan23 says, I've never eaten a deep-fried Mars bar. Neither have I. Don't intend to. Darth Maul says, so did every man in power. Googled her. Yes, I guess so. Kamala Lala Ding Dong. I don't think that's a song. Sci-Fi Nation Bird Prey, Mama Prey is allowed to be as politically incorrect as she wants to be. Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. It means a lot. Dan23 says, in the 24th century, if there is a fire on a Starfleet starship, there's supposed to be a special force field, and then all the air gets removed and the fire goes out. Okay? I mean, that makes sense. That's one way to fight a fire in space. Joseph says, Kamala for president 2021. Well, if she wins in 2020, oh, I see what you mean. If Biden wins, listen, the basic idea is we all know this, okay? We all know that whoever that Kamala is going to wind up president. Now, whether Biden actually serves a day or two or a week just to have his name in the history books, or whether she actually starts as president from the first day, doesn't really matter. This is going to be Kamala Harris's first term as president if Biden wins. Aravik Sander donated $1 super chat. Qapla Aravik Sander. It's a big if. It's a big if. I don't know if she gets to appoint a vice president. If I'm not sure how that works. I don't know. Dan23 says in the 24th century, she certainly wouldn't appoint Hillary as a vice president because she would meet an unfortunate accident if that happened. No, she would keep Hillary far away. Dan23 says in the 24th century, if there was a fire, I read that. Rock Solid says Bird of Prey, she counts. Was the tip in? I don't know. Dan23 says the station is Cardassian, so it works different. DD says Captain Track, are you my friend? Hope you are feeling and doing well. Oh, how are you, my friend? Not are you, my friend. Zabe Denton, Qapla, Zabe. I am happy. Kamala Day. Good for you, Zabe. Dan23 says this video is not a political attack. No, it's not supposed to be. Sci-Fi Nation says space lesbians. Yes. That's something we can all agree in November 2020. Vote for space lesbians. Zabe says, oh, nice. Joe Biden got the right video. Captain Track says, DD Myers, I'm doing okay. Feeling as good as I can, and thank you. And asks how they are. Thomas Potts is Bird of Prey. Why does Deej get so many Ciso Prey first? It's very suspicious. It's just the way it happens, Thomas. He's not the father. I can almost promise you that. Almost. We may have to take a DNA test. DD says you are welcome, and I'm doing well and can't complain today. Awesome, DD. Thomas Potts is Queen Brie Larson. Listen, if Brie Larson wanted the job, she could have it. She's not a particularly unattractive person. Darth Maul, I mean, I would have to fit her with some type of collar that shocked her anytime she talked. But otherwise, she could have. It's a purely ornamental position. Darth Maul says, Bird of Prey, I disagree nearly completely with Tulsi Gabbard, but I like her. I do too. That's the thing. So I would have given Trump or Pence a great competitor compared to these clowns. That's the thing. I disagree with almost all of her politics, but I can respect her. She knows what she believes in. She's honest. She doesn't play games. She fought for this country. I totally respect Tulsi. And, you know, if it was a Tulsi Trump fight, Tulsi, Biden, Tulsi. So basically it's Tulsi Trump, because either way, Biden's not really going to be president. We all know this. I would say I'd feel much better about the country, because no matter who won, I wouldn't feel too bad. And unfortunately, I think Biden missed a giant chance to actually bring in possible voters, because the people who are going to vote for Biden were going to vote for him, you know, whether you pick Kamala or not like they were going to vote for Trump if he didn't pick Kamala. Sci-Fi Nation says, Thomas, Bird of Prey did say he totally banged Bree. Yes, I did. Cade says, Bird of Prey, what if Britain annexed all of Europe and had them speak English and drive on the left side of the road? Well, I'd be all for making them speak English, but all against them having to drive on the wrong side of the road. Thomas is Bird of Prey. It's strange that community tab shows up on my iPhone, but not my iPad. Very strange indeed, Thomas. John DeMarco says, hello all. Qapla, John DeMarco. Rock Solid says, Kuroga doesn't need another queen. It already has Bird of Prey, and he's all the queen you need. Jitsi says, Cade, we wouldn't allow it. Sci-Fi Nation says, that's what you get for using inferior Apple products. That's actually a good point. Rock Solid says, I believe she gets to appoint her VP. Otherwise, it would be the Speaker of the House. Yeah. Jitsi says Biden. Robert Rose says, didn't LBJ appoint his own VP? Maybe. I honestly, I'm not sure how it works. Cade says Biden. Darth Maul says Bird of Prey. When Kamala becomes president, she'll appoint Nancy for her VP. Do you think so? I don't think so. I don't think they get along. I really don't. Sci-Fi Nation says rock solid, and if the election gets delayed, it doesn't happen. The office falls to the Speaker of the House automatically, I think. I don't know if that's true, Sci-Fi Nation. Because here's the thing. If the election doesn't happen, and I brought this up, basically nobody gets 270 electoral votes, then the election goes to Congress, and the House picks the president, and the Senate picks the VP. And it's very possible that's what's going to happen. So there's no, if the elections, whatever the reason, if for whatever reason no person has 270 electoral votes come, I believe it's December 8th or December 6th, but whatever day in December that it's got to be recorded, then that goes to Congress, and Congress chooses the president. It's very possible that's what's going to happen this year. So, and it's not set in stone who would win in that case. It's certainly not going to be Nancy Pelosi, though. That's what it's about. Dan23 says Star Wars 9 had a human female kissing an alien female at the end. Rockstar says Bird of Prey, okay, if Biden dies, Harris becomes president. From there, she would nominate a candidate for VP who would have to go through a nomination process similar to Supreme Court. Okay. Darth Maul says Bird of Prey, Joe Biden had, some would say, is a Freudian slip by stating he chose Kamala because she's ready to lead on day one. Joe has said so many things, you can't trust anything he says. Rock says a sci-fi, the election gets delayed, the decision goes to Congress. Yes, that's it. I believe the House selects the president and the Senate the VP, so you could have Biden-Pence. Resolute Germs' Bird of Prey supports restraining bolts for women. No, that's not what I said. Yosef says you drive either on the right side of the road or the right side of the car. Well, you either drive on the American side or the wrong side. Sci-Fi Nation is rock solid. They're all useless choices. So let's hope it doesn't, and vote third party so Bird of Prey can blame us voters instead of our broken system. Well, anyone who doesn't vote the right way is voting the wrong way. This is true. Thomas Potts says, Joseph, you drive on the right, correct? And Uncle Remus says, I would rather see Kamala, the wrestler, be VP. Even dead would be a better choice. Wow. And so, yes, this, if you didn't know, this is a Star Trek Deep Space Nine stream where we're going to watch season 3, episode 20, Improbable Cause. So if you've made it through all that political talk, it is time to watch the episode. Now, as always, if you have your own copy of the episode on DVD or whatever, great. If you do not, you can go to the address on top, birdofprey5.com/SR for the Bird of Prey 5 screening room, and you can watch my copy with me. Now, only do that if you can do it in a second tab. You keep your browser open to YouTube and another tab or another window. You can open and watch the video with us. And if you can't do that and you don't have your own copy, then the bottom right corner of the screen where there's that black box, you can watch some screenshots so you know where we are in the episode. Once I start playing, if you need me to say something and it's worthwhile, put at Bird of Prey 5 and I will do my best to say it as soon as I can. If it's nonsense, then I'm going to probably not say it. But if it's worth saying, I will say it. Things that don't have at Bird of Prey 5, then I will likely skip. And I will do my best to hum the theme because I know many of you come here for some reason just to listen to me hum the opening theme to Deep Space Nine. Sci-Fi says, who would want to kill poor simple Garak? We will find out soon. Josh Reed says, remember if you want Bird of Prey to read your comment, put at Bird of Prey 5 in front of it. And John Noah says, yes for DS9, much preferred to politics. Dan Reed says, Major Kira could have killed him if she wanted to. It's debatable. It's debatable. Okay, so let's get this ready. We move this over to here. We open up the screening room. We bring the screening room to the center of the screen. Ba 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 ba. I have to shut off the computer audio so you guys don't hear the episode, because that would be bad. We got Frank Sinatra down on camera today. It's always weird to me as to what angle, what's going to be on camera on any given day. I can't predict it. Okay. Counter-Direct says, Bird of Prey. I promised Bird of Prey I will run for president. What was I going to run for again? Josh Street says, if you say Bird of Prey 10 times in front of your computer in a dark room, Sassy will show up at your door with Mama Prey and great home-cooked food. I wonder if it works for me. Live at the Love Shack says, greetings. Greetings live at the Love Shack, Qapla. We are just about to get started. So once again, guys, if you want to watch along, go to the Bird of Prey 5 screening room. Fuck. There. And there. Yeah, birdofprey5.com/SR lowercase. And watch there. Otherwise, the bottom right corner of the screen. Josh Reaches Bird of Prey is live at the Love Shack. Everybody's live at the Love Shack, apparently. And so let's go ahead and count down to play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. And we're opening on the station exterior. Garak is talking Shakespeare with Bashir. Bashir says Shakespeare is a giant. And Garak says that he knew Brutus was going to kill Caesar in the first act. but Caesar didn't figure it out till the knife was in his back. He says that's a tragedy. If this guy's supposed to be a leader of a giant empire, a brilliant military person, he can't see what's going on under his eyes, and he says that's why it's a tragedy. Oh, so Bashir is rushing through food because he's so busy, and Garak is saying he's not busy. He wishes he was more busy, and he says he hopes. So Garak is saying humans eat too fast in general, and he's pointing at some alien, that this other alien is halfway through his meal while the human is already finished. He's like, for generations now, humans eat so quickly. Even though you've had more than enough food for generations, you eat so quickly because you're afraid someone is going to take away your plate. It's this fear of starvation. It points to some dark secret hidden in the human soul, gnawing hunger, perhaps. Someone should do a study. He says, why don't you do the study? You appear to have plenty of time. And he says, if you want to have dessert, go ahead. He won't be offended. Doctor says he's got to go. He's afraid to leave. He says he's been nibbling on Palladian chocolates. And he said he'll bring some by the infirmary this afternoon. Kira comes by. About some atmospheric specifications for some ambassador. 60% nitrogen, 10% benzene, and hydrogen fluoride. It's too corrosive. It dissolved the carpet. Seems like they need new carpet. Yeah, rip out the carpet. But don't replace it with anything red or orange. They don't see that part of the color spectrum. So they would look black. Oh no, there was a bomb. It's Garak's shop. Jump over, Doctor. You can survive. Oh, he took the stairs. He took the stairs. Man, yeah, I understand now. Yes. The fire should have been put out by the station automatically. Garak says he's as well as can be expected. But he's afraid that his pants won't be ready tomorrow after all. Dan 23 is bird of prey. Always alien chocolates. They never have Earth chocolate. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Thomas Bond says, how do you know it's a bomb and not an accident? ESP. And Joseph says, it's a bow? No, it's a bomb. The Android uses Bird of Prey. You should make a video like one of those adverts for a set of music CDs. And then you should put clips of you singing different songs in like this one. That's actually something I've thought of before, Dan. It's not a bad idea. Sci-Fi says, want to watch with us? Go to birdofprey5.com/SR. Live at the Love Shack says, dude, please, you are Klingon. Put some heart into it. I'm sorry. You're right. So they found some, I think, trillion micro explosive residue rigged to cause a rupture, making the explosion look like an accident. Cisco to ops. Delay the departure of all vessels. He has reason to believe someone tried to kill Mr. Garak. So nobody gets to leave the station because of one possible homicide attempted. Who would want to kill him? A simple tailor. He says, a simple tailor who used to be an agent of the Obsidian Order. He says, come on, Constable Obsidian Order. You shouldn't put too much stock in the doctor's flights of fancy. He's like, are you sure it was an accident? Because I can't think of anyone who wished me harm. And Cisco's like, somebody tried to kill you. They're going to try again. And he's like, well, it could have been the Nausicaan whose wedding suit he misplaced. And the Iridian he owed money to. And there's always Major Kira. And it's like, Bashir's like, be serious. And Gary's like, I am being serious. I don't think she likes me. Odo says, she doesn't like you, but if she wanted you dead, you would be. He doubts the finance minister would try to have him killed for failing to pay taxes. Do you think I'd lie about something like that? Not something he's proud of. Cisco says he doesn't like explosions going off on his station. If there's anything you don't know, he suggests you start talking. He told him everything you could think of. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings, Mamo Prey, Sisso Prey, Chico Prey, and fellow nerds. Thank you, Mountains of Elysium. Sci-Fi Nation, Bird of Prey. I think Live at the Love Shack needs to hear Gowron and Ezri say, Hail Karoga. Well, maybe later. Not in the middle of an episode. Rock Solid says, Bird of Prey, hashtag make Cardassian tailors great again. I'm trying to figure out why some people can't bring anyone to trust anyone, even when it's in best their own. And he's like, so Gary's like, why does no one believe me even when telling the truth? And he's like, have you ever heard the story of the boy who cried wolf? It's a children's story about a young shepherd boy. He gets bored while tending his flock. He cries out to villagers. The wolf is attacking the sheep. The people come running, but of course there's no wolf. He claims it's run away, and the villagers praise him for his vigilance. And Garak says, oh, what a clever lad, charming story. He said, no, I didn't finish. Next day, he does it again, and the next two. And on the fourth day, the wolf really comes. The boy cries out at the top of his lungs, but the villagers ignore him. And the boy and his flock are gobbled up. And Garak says, it's a little graphic for children, wouldn't you say? And Bashir says, the point is, if you lie all the time, no one's going to believe you, even when you tell the truth. And Garak says, are you sure that's what it means, Doctor? He says, of course, what else could it be? That you never tell the same lie twice. One of my favorite lines. Yep. Addy in stereo is here. Qapla, how far behind in the comments today? Not terribly, Addy. He won't be for long if I have anything to do with it. So he's got the ships that have come to the station. We're going to see if anybody wished him harm. Or start with the most recent arrivals and work his way backwards. DN23 says Dr. Bashir hid the truth that he was genetically engineered. This is true. So Odo's not going to leave him alone. So he could look through his security files. And Garak's like, what makes you think I haven't already looked through your security files? He's like, but I'm joking, of course. No, none of these names. They could have been planted days ago or even weeks. Keep going back. He says this could take forever. Oh, it says you should have plenty of time on your hands now that your shop is no longer open for business. And O'Brien comes in. Says Odo. He doesn't want to talk about it out loud in front of Garak. He found traces of living tissue. The remains of a pheromonic sensor. It's triggered when a person from a particular species gets within range. And so it was targeted specifically for Garak. They're known to be favored by Flaxian assassins. And it just so happened a Flaxian came aboard the station just this morning. Guilty to me. Let's arrest him. Dan23, yes. Sci-Fi Nation, Dan23, there was also part Romulan crewman on Enterprise D. Wonder if Bird of Prey remembered that. Yes, I do. They in the Drumhead. He's a suspect of a murder. He was cleared of charges, case of mistaken identity. He got off some other charge. He's a perfume merchant. He says, oh, how fortunate. He's looking for a gift for a friend. He says, a lady friend? He's like, yes, but he doesn't have a sense of smell. He says, maybe you can describe this fragrance for him. So he's like, yeah, it's got a floral bouquet. Oh, he says, we have a Cardassian tailor named Garak. There's an explosion in his shop. Not long after he arrived. He's like, I felt a blast. Was he hurt? No, not seriously. And he's like, this one is a more musky than the first. It smells like Sex Panther. So he's asking him, where was him when the explosion occurred? He was in the Ferengis bar. He's been there all morning. And Odo picks out a third one. He's like, he'd have to describe that scent as spicy. Yes. Now Kwong, he was at Quark's the whole day, right until the deputy brought him. Says, have you found something for your lady friend? He said, almost. I think she'd like that something both floral and musky. Perhaps if we mix these two. So he says, why not? And he sniffs it. He says, ooh, it's a very nice smell. On the other hand, she's quite fond of spicy. So maybe we could add a drop of this. And he says, I don't think you should do well. I don't think that'd go well together. Odo's like, let's find out. And he puts his hand to block it. It's like, I don't think your friend would like the aroma. And Odo's like, much less when these three fragrances are combined, they produce a gaseous mixture that could trigger a fatal heart attack. He's like, I had no idea. He's like, well, then why did you stop me? He's like, I just didn't think your friend would like the aroma. Like, unless you have any more questions, he'd like to go now. He's got deliveries to make on Cardassia. Odo's like, I'll let you know when you can leave the station. Pushes the scent in front of his nose. Like, what? Like he's going to put the third drop in and kill him? So Odo is watching. O'Brien says everything's set. The transponder's on the ship. He's hitting inside the ship's magnetron relay. He'll be able to track him as long as he's within half of a light year. Odo says if he knew who he was going to lead him to, he wouldn't have to follow him. So Odo goes onto the runabout, and Garak is there. Says, I was wondering when you get here. Phylaxian left 2 minutes ago. And said, you're too dogged an investigator. Let the only witness simply disappear. And he says, please disembark. He'll get on with his dogged investigation. Garak wants to go with him. He intends to go with him. He's like, are you making a joke? Cardassian humor escapes me. He's like, no, I'm quite serious. When someone tries to kill you, it's no laughing matter. It's like, I don't require your company on your trip. He says, my presence could be most helpful, especially if the Phylaxian goes into Cardassian space. He's like, I'm not interested in debating your usefulness, but I hate to interrupt you. He's getting further away. I assume you place a tracking device on the ship. If we don't get started soon, he's going to get out of range. He's got you there, Odo. Rio Grande to ops, permission to depart. He doesn't have to say who's on the ship. Garak says, trust me, I'll be a most pleasant traveling companion. It's going to prove to be most interesting. Dan23 says, I read that. Addie says, I read that. Joseph says, Jack Honey goes somehow well with this episode. Live at the Love Shack says, Bird of Prey, would you consider describing graphic series of Klingon porn? No, I would not. And up, the ship blew up. Not Odo's, obviously. The Phylaxian ship just blew up. Funny how many ships blow up after leaving DS9. Exploded the moment its warp drive was engaged. No, it wasn't a malfunction, Dax, you idiot. Obviously, this was sabotage. There was an interference pattern in the transponder signal. Just like this could have been a forced inversion, neutrino inversion. And Odo's like, the Romulans, they used neutrino inverters. The Romulans could have hired the Phylaxian to kill Garak, and then he killed Phylaxian when he failed in his mission. It's only a supposition, but it fits the facts. Live at Love Shack's a shame, Bird of Prey. You are probably a natural when emotionally engaged. He doesn't know who did it. He has no idea. Odo says he's telling the truth. And he says, I believe him. Because if he did know why the Romulans, he'd already been spilling a web of lies to cover up the truth. He's like, the truth is usually just an excuse for lack of imagination. He says, if you want to know why the Romulans want to get me, you'll have to ask them. So he says, I will. I'll be surprised if they answer. And so he calls the Romulans. The Romulans says, yes, we destroyed the Phylaxian ship. He's like, I'm surprised you told us. He's like, well, he was a criminal and his execution was perfectly legal. So trying to kill somebody in non-Romulan space is perfectly legal. A cobbler, a tailor. She'll correct her records. He'll correct her records if he's still alive. He is. One more thing Odo asks. How long has the Tal Shiar been looking for him? Nearly a year. Isn't it curious you finally caught up with him here? Just hours after you attempted to kill Mr. Garak? He's like, we're just grateful to have found him at all. And if you're finished. She has other matters to attend to. Don't bother us again. Now, why would the Romulans want to have Garak killed? Considering those uniforms of theirs, you think they'd appreciate a decent tailor. Odo's making a joke. Odo. She's like, we don't know the Romans hired the Flaxian. We don't even know that it was the Flaxian who tried to kill Garak. All we all know is that a bomb went off in Garak's shop. He's like, okay, let's start with him. What do we know about Garak? He was exiled from Cardassia. He never leaves the station. He avoids contacts with other Cardassians. It's possible he was once an intelligence agent of the Obsidian Order, and Odos is a very strong possibility. So we can assume the attempt on his life had something to do with the Order. Odos says he's rather non-cooperative when it comes to answering questions about his past, and the Obsidian Order is non-cooperative when it comes to answering questions about former agents. Odos says, well, ordinarily, he has certain resources he could use. So Sisko's like, I take it you don't want to elaborate on that? And he said, no, I'd rather not. But I would like to request the use of a runabout. Sisko grants him use. Holds that baseball. And we see Odo in a cave, walking through a dark cave. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Stop there, a voice from the dark says. Odo says, where are you? He says, nearby. I've changed my appearance since last we saw each other. I don't want you to see me. Odo needs information. Is this about the tailor shop? He says, I didn't do it. Odo says, I wasn't going to ask you. I think the Romulans tried to kill Garak. He says, very good, Odo. I see. Working for Bajorians hadn't dulled your instincts entirely. He's like, but why the Romulans? She's like, you'd have to ask the Romulans. But I do know you're investigating a very insignificant piece of a much larger puzzle. There's been a great deal of unusual Romulan activity these past weeks. Cloaked ships, warbirds, detected near the Cardassian border, troop movements, communication activity. It's like, sounds like they're preparing for an invasion. He's like, it just occurred to us, and we're ready for us if it should happen. But it doesn't make any sense. Odo says, does war ever make sense? He's like, still the Rye observer of humanoid fun. Do you still do the Cardassian neck trick? And he says, no, I don't. He says, pity, you were so good at it. He says, Garak isn't the only former operative in the Order who had an unfortunate encounter yesterday, but he's the luckiest. The other 5 didn't survive. He said 5 others were killed. He said, no, 3 died of natural causes, and another 2 perished in accidents. Odo says, quite a coincidence. The guy says, if you believe in coincidence. He says, I take it you believe the Romulans had something to do with their deaths. He's like, there were certain indications of their involvement. He still doesn't know why. He says here, and he throws something to Odo. Those are the names of the 5 dead operatives. I suggest you show that to Garak and ask him that question. He says, I'll do that. I trust you agree this information satisfies my debt to you. He agrees. But if they did learn something from the tailor and shares it with him, then he'd be indebted to Odo again. Odo says he'd consider it. Sci-Fi Nation, I have to say, Bird of Prey commentary is a welcome break from the actual dialogue of the show after seeing it so many times. Oh, and he's like, I'm not going to mourn their passing. He'd be celebrating tonight. He says, so you did know him? He's like, oh yes, we're quite well acquainted. He's like, in the Obsidian Order. He's like, Constable, we've been down this road before. He's like, forgive this. I'm not Dr. Bashir. We're not talking over lunch. You tell me now. You're now going to cooperate. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, you blew up your own shop, Garak. Garak said, Odo said, I don't think I've ever seen that particular expression on your face. Is that surprised? He's like, yes. I'm surprised you could come to this unlikely conclusion. It's like, drop the pretext. I dropped as soon as I spoke with the Flaxian. He planned to poison him. I think you spotted him on the station and blew up your own shop so he'd begin an investigation. He said, if I needed your help, I could have just asked. It's like, but you couldn't be sure that he'd take it seriously or that he'd even help you. I think you secretly enjoyed destroying your own shop. He said, well, he admits watching it burn wasn't exactly tragic. Whether or not you want to admit it, you pulled me into the case. Now you're stuck with me. I want to know who those men were and what your connection was to them. Like the predicament Garak is in. He says, we were all associates of Anabrantane. Anabrantane, the former head of the Obsidian Order. He retired some years ago. He was the only head of the agency who ever lived long enough to retire. For some time, they were his most trusted advisors. Do you have any idea why the Romans want them all dead? He doesn't know, but Tane might. Unless Tane suffered an unfortunate accident. And Quark. Garak said that's a distinct possibility. He says, he use his communication system? And Odo says, by all means. Take care live at the Love Shack. So he has an interesting way of scrambling a signal. Qapla LDG. Mila. Elam. I never thought I'd see your face again. I need to speak to Tane. It's urgent. He says, you can't. He isn't here. I don't know where he is. He left yesterday in a great hurry. He wouldn't tell where. Odo says maybe he realized somebody was coming after him. She's like, he's in trouble, isn't he? He's like, you got to help him, Elam. I know you're still bitter because of what happened, but you must help him. So she says, if you speak to him, tell him to contact me. Mila says, promise me you'll help him. And Garak promises. And he tells Odo he'll need a runabout. Odo says, we'll need a runabout. I'm coming with you. Did you think they were just going to give him a runabout? Yeah, she is also in season 7. Mila. He's like, is there anything you need him to do while he's gone? He's like what? And he's like, yes, doctor. He's like, if you go into his quarters and examine the bulkhead next to Replicator, there's a false panel. Behind that panel is a compartment containing an isolinear rod. If he's not back within 78 hours, I want you to take that rod and eat it. You're joking. He's like, yes, doctor, I am. Very funny. He's like, I thought so. It's like, no, there's nothing you can do while away. Like, then these are for him. Delavian chocolates. But these were meant for him. He's like, you might need them more than I do. Or you just go to the replicator and say, replicate me up 1,000 of these chocolates. They're headed for the Cardassian border. They're going to the third planet of the Uneka system. He knows there's a safe house there that no one's supposed to know about. That woman Mila, who is that? He's been Kane's housekeeper and confidant. She seemed almost fond of him. There's so hard to believe that there's one person who could regard him with affection. And he said, it's okay, but I wouldn't expect it with someone who worked for Anam Bhutan. Like, as I understand, you guys didn't depart on the best of terms. But yeah, he was directly responsible for his exile from Cardassia. So why is he risking his life to help him? Like, I can see how that would be puzzling. Mountains of Elysium says, I think the isolinear rod will crop up in the pale moonlight, Bird of Prey. Actually, I think the blank rod was actually just what he said it was. Huh. That is an interesting theory, Mountains of Elysium. Odo just moved from deduction to supposition. He says, you're not someone who would simply repay a debt. And guys, are you saying I have no sense of honor? Odo says that remains to be seen. He says you wouldn't risk going into Cardassian space with just anyone. You have to be someone important to you, someone you cared about. I think you were more than Tane's advisor. I think you were his protege, and he was your mentor. Until that was, at least until he sent you into exile. And despite all that, you care enough about him to risk your life for him. Or is that all just supposition? Garak says it's a very interesting analysis. Particularly coming from Odo. It's been Garak's observation that Odo always acts from justice or what he feels is justice. There's no emotion beyond a certain distaste for loose ends and disorder. He says you don't know what it means to care about somebody. People are just interesting creatures to be studied, to Odo, and analyzed. Like, is there a point to this? Only that he finds it interesting that you ascribe feelings and motivations to me that you know nothing about. Or am I wrong? Tell him, is there one person in this universe you do care for? One person who's more than just an interesting puzzle to be solved. Is there, Odo? Anyone? He said, if there were, I certainly wouldn't tell you. Garak is smiling. So that would be a wise decision. Hi, Sassy. Mamo prays cooking, so Sassy is doing her pose. It's an alarm. What's that? Subspace energy surge directly above him. It's the cloaking. And it's a Romulan Daredek. Huge. Warbird. He's like in Cardassian space. They blocked onto a tractor beam. The runabout should have looked so much smaller compared to the Daredek. They're jamming a tradition. Their transmission. He's trying to hail them, see what they want. And some Romulans have beamed down. And they're prisoners of the Romulans. Why do they have that extra part of the door that sticks out? It's just begging to scrape people. And Tane is on the ship. He's like, Garak, it's good of you to come. It spares me the trouble of having to send someone else to kill you. And Odo's like, what the hell is going on? Sci-Fi Nation says, I need a beagle dog dammer. A beagle goddammer. So he said, you're a tailor. Is this one of your creations? And he says, well, you always had a keen sense of fashion, but you seem to let it go, along with his trim figure. He's a little on the fat side. Constable Odo, he always wanted to meet him. Odo's like, I wish I could say the same. Like, have you ever been the least bit curious about me, about his relationship with Garak, or work in the Obsidian Order? Odo's like, I rarely waste time speculating about retired spy masters. He's like, he's good. He hides his true feelings almost about you, Elam. He would have made a good operative. And Garak said, I had the same thought, but those days are long gone, at least for him. But you, on the other hand, seem to have left your retirement far behind, unless you're simply on the pleasure cruise with your pointed-eared friends. He's cunning, isn't he? He makes a racial slur within an ear slot of two Romulans, putting me in the position of either defending or let the comment pass, giving away allegiance to them or planting a seed of doubt. Odo says, you got people, you go through so much trouble to hide the true meaning of your words, you end up saying nothing, which in itself was his own kind of racial slur for solids. And he said, to answer your question, no, I'm not on Pleasure Cruise. This is part of the fleet of Romulan Cardassian vessels that will very slowly be traveling through the wormhole into the Gamma Quadrant. Odo says, I take it you're on a mission of peaceful exploration. He's like, not exactly. He's like, you're going to attack the Dominion. You're going to do a first strike. He's like, a clean and precise analysis. Commander Sisko must find you valuable. I don't know what he said. Ally? He's like, a daring plan. I didn't think there was anybody in the Central Command bold enough to take on the Dominion. But who said Central Command? This is a joint operation between the Obsidian Order and the Tal Shi Order. We've been building a fleet of ships in the Orion system for months. If they fight back, you'll be taking them into war. A war you might not win. He's like, I don't think there will be a strike back. We're going to strike in we're going to take out the Dominion in one go. We're going to eliminate the founders. Like, you seem disturbed by this changeling. It's like, why? Didn't you turn your back on them? Because you seem to know a great deal about me and my people. Like, we know everything you know, including the location of their home world. Starfleet shared their intelligence with the Romulans. And the Romulans shared it with them. He said, you forgive me if I reduce the scope of this conversation a little bit more personal, but why was it necessary to kill me and the rest of former colleagues in order to embark on this excursion? He's like, cause I'm not going to go back to retirement when this is over. He's going back to his old job and his old life. So he was afraid that we knew things that could be used against you. So he decided to have us eliminated. He says, like I used to say, always burn your bridges behind. You never know who may be trying to follow. And you always used to say the Tal Shiar is sloppy. You never should have relied on them to be sloppy. He's like, yeah, it's true. I never should have hired the faction to blow up my shop. He's like, actually, I blew up my shop. It was a way of piquing the interest of the good constable. He's like, you blew up your own shop? You, my friend, are a true original. If you hadn't betrayed me, things would have been very different. He's like, I never betrayed you. At least not in my heart. Why do you think I'm here? I came because I thought the Romulans were trying to kill you. I came here to save you. I never thought I'd hear myself say this, Garak. But I believe you. You can go. The changeling will have to stay, but you're free to go. Your runabout is launching pad A3. Just like that. Aren't you concerned that he might warn Central Command and Starfleet? Like, it's too late. Central Command will have a war on its hands they want one, and Starfleet, this isn't their fight. They won't interfere. Odo says it's a trick. He won't let you just walk away. Like, it's not a trick, it's a choice. You can walk out that door or join. Not the least, is this Star Trek, Days of Our Lives. I used to call it Star Trek 90210. He's asking him to serve Cardassier again, by his side. Pardon if I feel a little startled. You're saying all is forgiven? It's like, I can't forgive what you did. But I can try to forget. Put it aside. It never happened. So do you want to go back to your shop and hem pants? It's for you. Or pick up where we left off.
Yes, and I need help.
Odo says, Garak, this is the man who put you into exile. The man who just 2 days ago had tried to have you killed. And Garak says, yes, he is. But it doesn't matter. I'm back. And Garak kind of shakes his hands. To be continued. I was just getting good. Oh my God, we're going to have to wait till next week to find out how this ends, assuming it even ends. Maybe it's going to be continued again. Oh man, I was shocked. The first time I saw this, I was like, what the hell is going on? Garak is switching sides. What's going to happen to Odo? I couldn't bear it. It was unbearable. The weight. Yosef says double feature. LDG says no double. You're killing us, Bird. No double feature. Sorry, guys. We are really going to wait till next week, just like we had to IRL in real life. It'll make it all the better. It will make it all the better. Yeah, I was getting good, Bird of Prey 2020. Thomas is over already, son of a bitch. Rockstar says, I love that Tane is played by the same actor who played Molly Ringwald's dad in 16 Candles. Captain Shark says, Bird of Prey, you could keep going. Actually, I can't because I didn't get the video ready for next week. I didn't make the screenshots. I didn't do any of that. So even if I wanted to go, I couldn't keep going. I mean, the only thing I could conceivably do would be put on the Burbs, because that I have ready for Saturday. I didn't do the DS9 stuff for next week yet. Mountains of Elysium says Sassy does not forgive or forget either, especially if you give away her jerky. Oh yeah, poor Sassy. Rock Solid wants Dear Bop. Joseph's Bird of Prey, I got a haircut for you. Keep going. We have the episode at home. LDG says we will wait. And Sci-Fi says, Dear Bob, I'm sorry, guys. Sassy Bird of Prey is your new chew toy, says Josh Street. It is. She got to my hand. I'm putting Neosporin all over it, so it's like it's mostly healed. Used to hurt. It hurt a couple of days ago. It was quite painful. Dan23 says the Romulan transporter effect this episode is the same as the Borg one. Mountain says Sikkim, sassy. Wow, you guys are really upset. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, this is a two-parter. So, with that, guys, I will talk to you guys. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay up to be on Life with Matthew stream or not. Mr. CCDV goes live in an hour at 7 p.m. Eastern. Anti-Tracker is going to be on Mr. CCDV's stream. Now, that is going to be a religion stream. So if you don't want to talk about religion, skip it. But if you do want to see Anti-Tracker and Mr. CCDV talk about problems with the church, that is an hour from now, I believe, at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Mr. CCDV channel. Life with Matthew is at, I believe, 9 p.m. Eastern on his channel. And then at 2:30 in the morning, approximately Eastern, I'm going to join Anti-Tracker on his channel as we review the second episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. So it's going to be a crazy next 12 hours, people. I'm going to eat dinner, get some rest, and I will see you guys at some ungodly hour of the morning. Thank you all for hanging out. Qapla, and I will see you soon. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdoPrey5.com, the new home of everything BirdoPrey5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdoPrey5 or on BirdoPrey5.com. Take care.
Live long and prosper.
Dan23 donated $1 super chat. Thank you so much, Dan23, if you're still here, and I hope you are. Let's see that message from Esri.
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Esri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hail Karoga. And let's play this other Gowron. Hail Birdo Prey 5. Hail Karoga. Qapla.
I'm going to
And
take
Martok.
this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karoga.
Hail Karoga.
That's all I'm
That's
saying.
all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So thank you guys, Dan, and anyone who's still here. Qapla. And I guess we'll end it with some dancing. Thank you again. Look at that guy dance. Look at that hair. Damn it. Even the thin hair was a lot more hair than I have now. Son of a bitch. John Aragi says Bird should have played football. So many people approached me to play football. but I didn't want to. Mike Richards is handsome as a god emperor. I disagree. I was not a particularly attractive person. Still not. But whatever. Have to make up with it with personality. Oh well. Qapla all. Thank you and take care.